Welcome back my YouTube channel. The 20 centimes 1976 France coin value, rarity and collector's top 4-inch has a long and fascinating history. The year 1976 produced one of France's most circulated yet fascinating coins, the 20 centime piece. At first glance, this small coin might seem like just another piece of pocket change, but to collectors and history enthusiasts, it represents far more than its modest denomination. The 20 centime coin of France minted in 1976 is a window into the culture, the economy, and the artistry of its time. It carries with it a legacy of French coinage, rooted deeply in tradition, while also reflecting the practical realities of everyday transactions in the mid-1970s. This coin belongs to the franc currency system, which was in use in France before the adoption of the euro in 2002. The 20 centime denomination had been part of French money since the 19th century, but the modern design that most people recognize today was introduced after World War II. By 1976, France was minting millions of these coins each year to meet the needs of a growing population and an expanding economy. Despite being mass-produced, each coin carries a level of artistic detail and symbolism that speaks to France's national identity. The obverse of the 20 centime coin from 1976 features the beautiful image of Marianne. Marianne is not a queen, nor a goddess, but a symbol of the French Republic itself. She represents liberty, reason, and the spirit of the French Revolution. For over a century, Marianne has appeared on French coins, stamps, and official documents, serving as a reminder of the values of liberté, égalité, fraternité, liberty, equality, and fraternity. On this coin, her head is adorned with a Phrygian cap, the traditional symbol of freedom dating back to Roman times. The design captures both grace and strength, embodying the French people's pride in their republic. Turning to the reverse side, the coin proudly displays its value, 20 centimes, surrounded by olive branches and wheat stalks. These are not just decorative, they symbolize prosperity, peace, and the agricultural heritage of France. The year of issue, 1976, is clearly visible below, reminding us of the time when this coin first entered circulation. Along the rim is the inscription, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, the national motto of France, reinforcing the ideals upon which the nation is built. Even though this was just a small coin, it carried a big message, one that resonated with every person who held it in their hands. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1976 20 centime coin was struck in an aluminum bronze alloy, giving it a bright golden color when freshly minted. Over time, circulation often darkened its appearance, but collectors know how to recognize its unique tone. The coin has a diameter of 23.5 millimeters, a weight of about 4 grams, and a smooth edge, making it comfortable for daily use. Its size and color made it easily distinguishable from other denominations in the pocket or purse, which was crucial in the days when coins played a much larger role in everyday commerce than they do now. Historically, 1976 was a significant year in France and the wider world. Economically, countries were grappling with inflation and the aftereffects of the 1973 oil crisis. In France, coins like the 20 centime piece were essential for buying newspapers, bread, or a ticket for public transport. Imagine walking through the streets of Paris in the mid-1970s, with a baguette costing just a few francs and the jingling of centime coins in your pocket being a familiar sound. This coin was part of daily life for millions of French citizens. From a collector's perspective, the 1976 20 centime coin is not considered rare, as it was minted in large quantities. However, its value depends greatly on condition. Circulated examples are typically only worth their face value or a small premium above it, but uncirculated or mint-state specimens, especially those preserved in pristine condition, can attract the interest of numismatists. Coins with a strong luster, sharp details, and no signs of wear are the ones collectors seek out. Such examples may fetch a few dollars or more in today's coin market, depending on demand. While the average 1976 French 20 centime coin might not make you rich, its value lies in its symbolism and collectability. Many collectors enjoy building complete date sets of French franc coins, and the 1976 issue plays an important role in those collections. It is also a wonderful starter coin for beginners who want to explore the world of French numismatics without spending a fortune. Because it was produced during a stable period of French history, it is relatively easy to find in good condition compared to much older French coins. For some people, the real charm of this coin lies in nostalgia. Those who lived in France during the 1970s may remember using the 20-centime coin daily. Holding one today can bring back memories of childhood allowances, market trips with parents, or even vacations in France before the euro replaced the franc. In this way, the coin is not just a piece of metal, it is a tangible connection to personal and national history. Collectors also value coins like the 1976 20-centime for their artistry. The engravers of the Monnaie de Paris, France's official mint, were highly skilled in producing designs that balanced symbolism and practicality. Marianne's portrait on the obverse is both elegant and patriotic, while the agricultural motifs on the reverse speak to the richness of the French countryside. Together, these elements make the coin a miniature work of art that continues to be appreciated decades after it was minted. When considering market value today, the 1976 20-centime coin in average circulated condition is typically worth less than $1, mainly because of its high mintage and widespread availability. However, if you happen to own one in near perfect condition, graded by a professional service, its value can rise. Some high-grade examples have been sold for several dollars, sometimes more, particularly if they exhibit strong luster and no scratches. For coin enthusiasts, finding such a specimen is always rewarding, even if the monetary value is modest, because it represents the joy of discovery and the pursuit of quality. As with many collectible coins, rarity is not always the main factor. Sentiment, history, and symbolism play a big role in why people treasure coins like the 20-centime from 1976. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a casual hobbyist, this coin offers a chance to hold a piece of French history in your hands. It tells the story of a nation proud of its republican ideals, represented by Marianne and the national motto, while also reminding us of the simple everyday transactions that shaped people's lives. The 1976 French 20-centime coin may not be made of precious metal, and it may not be exceedingly rare, but it remains precious in its own right. Its beauty lies in its design, its accessibility, and its ability to connect us with a specific moment in time. For anyone interested in world coins, it makes an excellent addition to a collection, offering both historical significance and artistic merit. So the next time you come across a 1976 20-centime coin from France, take a moment to look closer. Notice the proud gaze of Marianne, the delicate wheat and olive branches, and the bold motto of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Think of the millions of hands it may have passed through, the stories it could tell, and the era it represents. It may just be a small coin, but it carries with it a big story, one worth remembering and sharing. Next coin. The 1977 French 20-centime coin is one of those small but fascinating pieces of history that most people pass over without much thought. At first glance, it is just a modest brass coin that once circulated in the pockets of everyday French citizens. But when we dig deeper, it becomes clear that this coin represents more than just its face value. It is tied to a long history of French coinage, the economic conditions of the 1970s, the artistic traditions of French engravers, and even today's world of coin collecting, where small details such as mint marks or condition can make a big difference in value. Let us explore the full story of the 1977 French 20-centime coin and understand why collectors still talk about it today. The denomination of 20 centimes has existed in France for more than a century, with the first modern versions introduced under Napoleon in the 19th century. By the time the 1970s arrived, France was still using the franc system, and the centime was the subunit of the franc. 1 franc was equal to 100 centimes. The 20-centime coin therefore represented 1/5 of a franc, a useful denomination for daily transactions. People used it to pay for bus tickets, newspapers, small food items, and all sorts of everyday expenses. The coin minted in 1977 was part of a series that began in 1962 under the Fifth Republic. This series carried the national motto of France, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, which translates to liberty, equality, fraternity. These words are more than decoration. They represent the values of the French Republic, born out of the Revolution of 1789 and carried forward through modern times. Every time someone held the coin, they were reminded of these ideals, the design of the 20-centime coin is both elegant and symbolic. On the obverse side, the coin shows Marianne, the national symbol of France. Marianne is a female figure who embodies liberty and reason, and she has been used in French imagery since the Revolution. On the 1977 coin, her portrait was designed by the artist Henri Lagrefouille, a celebrated sculptor and engraver. His representation of Marianne is serene and noble, looking to the left with hair flowing freely, a Phrygian cap resting on her head. The Phrygian cap itself is an ancient symbol of freedom, worn by freed slaves in Roman times, and later adopted by revolutionaries in France. On the reverse side of the coin, the denomination is written clearly as 20 centimes. Surrounding it is a wreath made of wheat and olive branches, symbolizing agriculture, peace, and prosperity. Below the value, we find the inscription, Liberté Galet Fraternit, once again reinforcing the ideals of the Republic. At the very bottom, the year of issue, 1977, is engraved along with a mint mark. French coins were struck mainly at the Monnaie de Paris, the Paris Mint, which has been producing coins for over 1,000 years. Some pieces also carry the engraver's mark or symbols identifying specific workshops. The material of the 20-centime coin is brass, an alloy made mostly of copper and zinc. This choice gave the coin a golden appearance, which distinguished it from other smaller copper-colored coins. Brass also has the advantage of being durable, which helped the coin survive decades of circulation. The coin weighs around 4 grams and measures 23.5 millimeters in diameter, making it a comfortable size to handle and carry in the pocket. Now, let's place the coin in the historical context of 1977. France during the late 1970s was experiencing economic challenges, as were many countries after the oil crises of the decade. Inflation was an issue, and the value of money was shifting. For ordinary people, the 20-centime coin was a useful but modest piece of change. It had real buying power, allowing people to make small purchases that today would cost much more. Looking back, it is fascinating to imagine the lives of people who used this coin in 1977, students buying bread rolls, workers grabbing a quick coffee, or families paying for parking meters with a handful of centimes. As with all coins, collectors today judge the 1977 French 20 centime by several factors: rarity, demand, and condition. The truth is that the 1977 issue was not rare. Millions were minted for everyday circulation, meaning that most coins from this year are still relatively common. For this reason, circulated examples usually do not carry high values. In average circulated condition, the coin may only be worth a few cents above face value to collectors. However, the real interest comes when the coin is found in exceptional condition. A 1977 20 centime in uncirculated or mint state condition, with full luster and no scratches, can fetch a higher price from collectors, sometimes a few dollars depending on the market. Another point of interest for numismatists is the study of mint marks and varieties. Some French coins from the 1970s have small differences depending on which mint official supervised the issue, and their marks can add minor value for specialized collectors. While the 1977 20 centime does not have any extremely rare varieties known, enthusiasts still enjoy collecting complete sets of these coins year by year. For international collectors, the coin also has charm. French coinage has long been admired for its artistry and symbolism, and the Marianne portrait makes these coins instantly recognizable as French. Many collectors outside of France include the 1977 20 centime in their world coin collection simply because it represents a classic period of French currency before the transition to the euro. Speaking of that transition, it is important to remember that France adopted the euro in 2002, replacing the franc and its centimes. That means that the 20 centime coin of 1977 is no longer legal tender. Its value now lies only in its historical and collectible appeal. For some French citizens, coins like this one are nostalgic reminders of the Franc era, when pocket change had a different look and feel. For younger generations, they are curiosities, pieces of metal that tell a story about life before the euro. In terms of value in today's collector market, the 1977 French 20 centime coin generally sells for between 50 cents and a few dollars, depending on condition. Uncirculated pieces in brilliant state may sell for a bit more, especially if they are certified by a grading service. But like many coins of the modern era, it is not the monetary value that makes it special, but rather the history and symbolism it carries. When holding a 1977 20 centime, one is reminded of France's enduring ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity, the artistry of engravers like Henri Lagerfeld, and the daily lives of millions of people who once used these coins without thinking twice. It is a small object, yet it connects us to a larger story of culture, politics, and economics. For collectors, that connection is what truly gives the coin its worth. Next coin. The 1988 French 10 centime coin may look like a small piece of metal, but like every coin in the history of currency, it carries a story of its country, its economy, and its culture. This particular coin comes from the late 20th century, a time when France was still issuing francs and centimes before eventually adopting the euro in 2002. The 10 centime coin of 1988 is a fascinating collectible, especially for numismatists who enjoy exploring the transition period of European coinage and the fine details of French minting. In this video, we will go through its history, design, mintage, composition, and its value in today's collector's market. To begin, let's place the coin in its historical context. The year 1988 falls within the Fifth Republic of France, under the presidency of François Mitterrand. This was a time when France was a stable European power, fully integrated into the European community, which later evolved into the European Union. The franc was still the national currency, divided into 100 centimes, much like the dollar is divided into 100 cents. The franc had a long history, dating back to medieval times, and the centime had been used as a fractional unit for centuries. By 1988, the 10 centime coin was a low-denomination coin in everyday use, commonly exchanged for small purchases or given as change. Now, let's talk about the design of the 1988 10 centime coin. On the obverse, or the front side, you will see the allegorical figure of Marianne. Marianne is one of the most enduring national symbols of France, representing liberty and reason. She is often depicted wearing a Phrygian cap, a symbol of freedom dating back to the French Revolution. On this coin, she appears in profile, embodying the French Republic's values of liberté, égalité, fraternité, which translates to liberty, equality, and fraternity. The artistry of the design reflects France's deep connection to symbolism and its desire to represent itself as a nation of ideals and enlightenment. On the reverse side of the coin, you will find the denomination inscribed as 10 centimes, with the year of issue, 1988, below it. Surrounding the denomination is the national motto Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, a phrase every French citizen knows by heart. Decorative elements, including olive branches and wheat ears, are often used to symbolize peace, prosperity, and agricultural abundance. This design was part of a series created after the Second World War, and it remained largely consistent for decades, giving French coins a sense of continuity. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1988 10 centime coin is relatively small and lightweight. It was minted in an aluminum bronze alloy, giving it a golden yellow appearance. The coin measures 20 mm in diameter and weighs about 3 grams. Its reeded edge adds a level of detail that not only improves grip but also helps prevent counterfeiting. These practical and aesthetic features make the coin a fine example of late 20th century minting. The coin was minted by the Monnaie de Paris, the French mint, one of the oldest institutions of its kind in the world. Founded in the 9th century, the Monnaie de Paris is renowned for its craftsmanship and innovation in minting. By 1988, millions of 10 centime coins were being struck for circulation, ensuring that nearly every French citizen had one in their pocket at some point. Because of this high mintage, the coin is not considered rare in a general sense. However, its value lies not in rarity but in its symbolic importance and the nostalgia it carries for the pre-Euro era. What about its collectible value today? The 1988 French 10 centime coin, in circulated condition, is worth only a few cents to $1 in most cases, depending on the market. Since so many were made, their commonness limits their value as an investment coin. However, uncirculated examples or coins in mint condition can fetch slightly higher prices, sometimes in the range of $2 to $5. Collectors who are building a complete set of French francs before the euro transition often seek this coin to fill a gap in their collection. another factor affecting the coin's value is its role as part of history. After 2002, when France transitioned to the euro, all franc and centime coins were officially demonetized. That means the 1988 10 centime coin no longer has any legal tender status. This transition from the franc to the euro marked a huge change in Europe's economic landscape, and coins like this one remind us of what daily life was like before that change. For many Europeans, especially in France, these coins carry personal memories of shopping, commuting, or simply saving pocket change. The coin is also interesting for those studying design trends in world coinage. Unlike some other countries that constantly change designs, France maintained the Marianne motif for many decades, showcasing its strong attachment to Republican values. This consistency makes it easy to trace how French coinage developed across the years. For beginner collectors, the 1988 10 centime coin is a perfect starting piece. It is inexpensive, easy to find, and rich in symbolism. Many collectors enjoy starting with modern European coins before moving on to older, rarer, or silver-based issues. Since it was minted in a durable alloy, many coins still exist in relatively good condition, even after being in circulation for decades. Beyond value and collectability, the coin teaches us about France's identity in the late 20th century. The emphasis on liberty, equality, and fraternity was not just a slogan but a reminder of the revolutionary roots of the nation. The olive branch and wheat ears remind us of the importance of peace and prosperity, while Marianne serves as the eternal face of the Republic. For anyone interested in history, culture, or politics, the coin provides a tangible connection to France's story. In conclusion, the 1988 10 centime coin from France is a modest but meaningful piece of numismatic history. While its market value may not be very high, its cultural and historical significance makes it a valuable addition to any collection. It tells the story of a nation proud of its revolutionary heritage, committed to its ideals, and preparing for the economic changes that would eventually lead to the adoption of the euro. Collectors who own this coin hold a small but powerful reminder of France's journey through the 20th century. Next coin. The 1985 French 5 centime coin is a small but fascinating piece of numismatic history. Though tiny in size and often overlooked in circulation, this coin represents an era of transition in France, both economically and culturally. To understand the true significance of the 1985 5 centime, we need to look at its design, the history of the French franc, its production details, and of course, its collectible and market value today. The 5 centime coin belongs to the long-running franc currency system that France used for centuries, until the introduction of the euro in 2002. 1 franc was divided into 100 centimes, and the 5 centime coin held a place as one of the smallest denominations in circulation. By 1985, inflation had reduced the purchasing power of the coin, yet it still served an important role in everyday commerce. Small change coins like this were used to settle exact amounts, particularly when prices did not round neatly to larger denominations. For many French citizens, the 5 centime was part of daily life, carried in pockets, purses, and coin purses across the country. The design of the 1985 5 centime coin reflects the values of the French Republic. On the obverse side, you will find the symbolic figure of Marianne, the national emblem of France. Marianne has been used on French coinage for generations, representing liberty, equality, and fraternity, the famous motto of the French Republic. She embodies freedom, democracy, and the enduring spirit of the people of France. Her depiction varies slightly depending on the coin series, but she is always instantly recognizable. On the 5 centime coin, Marianne is portrayed in a dignified profile, wearing her Phrygian cap, a symbol dating back to the French Revolution. On the reverse side, the coin carries the denomination 5 centimes, along with the year of issue, 1985. Surrounding the denomination are motifs of wheat, symbolizing agriculture and prosperity, as well as an inscription of the national motto, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité. The lettering is elegant and simple, consistent with the clean and balanced style of French coinage in the late 20th century. It was designed to be both functional and symbolic, easy to read for everyday use while still embodying national pride. The coin was struck in aluminum bronze, a mixture of copper, aluminum, and a small percentage of nickel. This alloy gave the coin its distinctive golden color, while also ensuring durability. Despite its small size and lightweight feel, aluminum bronze coins resisted corrosion and maintained their appearance even after years in circulation. The 5 centime measured just 19.5 mm in diameter and weighed 3 grams, making it easy to carry in large numbers without being cumbersome. The 1985 issue was part of a large production run, as France minted millions of these coins to keep up with circulation needs. By this time, the French mint had highly modernized equipment, allowing them to produce uniform and reliable coins. As a result, the 1985 5 centime is not considered rare in general terms. Most examples available today are common, especially those in circulated condition. However, like all coins, condition plays a huge role in value. A well-worn coin that passed through countless hands might only be worth its face value or a little more to collectors. But an uncirculated example, especially one that has been carefully preserved, can carry much greater value. So, what is the value of the 1985 French 5 centime coin today? For the average circulated example, the coin is very affordable. Collectors can often purchase one for a few cents or a small fraction of a dollar or euro. In bulk, these coins are sometimes sold as starter lots for beginner collectors. They serve as an excellent entry point into world coin collecting, since they are inexpensive yet historically rich. Uncirculated or mint state examples, however, command higher prices. A bright, lustrous 1985 5 centime coin with no scratches or signs of wear can fetch anywhere from $1 to $5 in the numismatic market. Coins that are certified and graded by professional grading services may reach even higher prices, especially if they achieve a high grade like MS-65 or MS-66. Proof issues, which were specially struck with polished dies and mirror-like fields, are much rarer and can be more valuable to collectors who specialize in French coinage. In some cases, a proof 1985 5 centime coin might be valued at around $10 to $20, depending on availability and demand. Beyond monetary value, the 1985 French 5 centime carries sentimental and historical significance. For many French citizens who grew up before the euro, this coin evokes memories of everyday purchases, small savings, and even pocket money given to children. The sound of coins clinking together, the feel of small change in hand, and the distinctive golden shine of the 5 centime are all part of a shared cultural memory. For collectors outside France, it represents a piece of Europe's pre-euro monetary history, a reminder of how diverse the continent's currencies once were. It's also interesting to place this coin in its historical context. In 1985, France was experiencing economic modernization within a broader European framework. The European Union was evolving, trade agreements were strengthening, and discussions of a single European currency were already underway. Nobody in 1985 could know for certain that less than 2 decades later, the franc would be replaced by the euro. In that sense, the 5 centime coin represents the end of an era, one of the last decades of the independent French franc before its transition into a shared European monetary system. Collectors today often seek out coins like the 1985 5 centime to build type sets or year sets of French coins. A type set might include one example of each denomination, while a year set focuses on collecting coins from a specific year across all denominations. The 5 centime is a crucial part of these sets, filling the role of the small yet essential denomination. Its affordability makes it accessible, ensuring that both beginner and advanced collectors can enjoy it without financial strain. In summary, the 1985 French 5 centime coin may be small in size, but it holds a rich story within its golden surface. It reflects the values of the French Republic through its design, played a vital role in everyday life during the Franc era, and today serves as both an affordable collectible and a nostalgic reminder of a time before the euro. While most circulated examples hold little monetary value, uncirculated and proof issues attract collectors who appreciate their beauty and historical context. For anyone interested in world coins, the 1985 5 centime is a wonderful addition to a collection, offering a tangible connection to France's past and a glimpse into the economic changes of the late 20th century.